Your reasons for listening to the show, well, those are your own. But just keep in mind that the views, information, or opinions expressed on the Tuddle Daily Podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of our sponsors. Yeah, it's called free speech, people. Nobody's forcing you to listen.
Get ready for your daily dose of Tuddle.
The all-time greatest intern/producer we've ever had, of course, Tuddle. Tuddle in Florida.
From the Hobo Fish Camp, it's the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
No wonder nobody likes you, Tuddle. Everything's a goddamn debate.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed your day so far. A couple of ways you can get a hold of me. You can email me, tuddle@gmail.com. That's Tuddle with two D's, Tuddle @gmail.com. Or you can leave me a voicemail, 407-270-3044. So we're in this new place now, getting everything set up. Man, it just, I hate moving. I really, really hate moving. You know, like, it's one thing to move yourself, but it's also another to help somebody else move. And I've told all my friends and people that I've worked with, don't ever ask me to help you move. I also shouldn't have said this. I said that I would rather actually give you money to pay for a moving truck instead of helping somebody move. It's one of the worst things in the world. I remember one weekend when I went over to hang out with Colton, that this guy, his neighbor, he was like, he promised one thing and gave us another. And he didn't have any of his stuff boxed up. We had to box it up. We had to move it. And he didn't even give us what he promised us. We were kind of pissed off about that. We called him out on it. And there was another time, or something else that bothered us about that, was after we got done helping move with this guy, every time it came to moving something big, it mysteriously got a phone call. And I called BS on that whole thing about halfway through it, because every time we had to move something big, oh, phone call. Got to move this big-ass dress, phone call. But after we got done moving and everything, we were going to go, we were going to drop off some of the other items. Oh, the other thing that pissed me off. Some of the stuff that we already loaded up, he decided that he didn't want to store it, and he wanted us to go to Goodwill to drop it off. Yeah. Colton never gets mad. That was the first time that I was like, Colton just said, F it. He threw something, it broke. And while we were moving stuff as well, too, it was kind of funny. Because the guy, like I said, wasn't helping us, didn't pay us what we agreed upon. Colton would be moving stuff, tables, chairs. He would hit every door down the hallway getting to the storage unit. And we were trying to pack things nice and neat. And then after we found out and this guy was being a complete dick, we just started just tossing things in there. We didn't give a damn if it got messed up or not. But when we got done, we stopped at the store. We thought he put a little... no, he didn't even put gas in. He went and got a drink for himself. We thought, hey, he's going to get us a couple of waters. Because it was during the summertime when we did the move. And he comes back, and he's got one water. I'm like, oh, we're going to have to... No, he didn't even give us the water to split. He gave it to his goddamn dog. He gave it to his dog. And that's when Cole was like, oh, peace out. Like, we didn't even help him when we got to Goodwill, or when he went to Goodwill. We were just like, out, we're out. We are out. But, you know, moving over here, one of the things that I didn't want to bring a bunch of clutter. People don't realize how much you accumulate in a place when you're there for a really, really long time. Stuff that you've not used in quite some time as well. And we got rid of a lot of stuff. But, man, we still move stuff in. We're doing it a little bit piece by piece. I probably would have already had it done if I wouldn't have been getting over COVID and stuff. But one of the biggest problems that I'm facing now, and I need to get, I forget her name. I'm going to have to talk to Vulture. I needed to, Because I interviewed the woman. She called herself the cat counselor. Yeah, I really, really need her advice now because, living over at the hobo fish camp, we did not a lot of traffic and stuff. The cat could roam. Now, there were other, dangers that the cat could have faced, like coyotes. There could have been a Florida panther, because we did see a Florida panther out there at the hobo fish camp a couple of times. But we let her roam. Yeah, she was fine and dandy. She could come in anytime she wanted to. Sometimes she would come in at night and sleep in there. But for the most part, she's a pretty nocturnal cat. And since we moved over here into the new place, I wanted to keep the stray cat that came up to us at the hobo fish camp. Definitely was not a feral cat. Because if it was a feral cat, I don't know if you've ever come across a feral cat. But a feral cat, you can't even get close to. And if you do get close enough to a feral cat, that thing will make you regret even trying to corner it or even trying to pet it. But this cat was very loving. That's why I think it was somebody's cat that they dumped off there. That's the hobo fish camp. It's exactly what it's named like. It's exactly what it's named, the hobo fish camp. And a lot of people used to dump their cats off there. And she would come in. We had a litter box in there. She would use it every once in a while. And I also at the same time, and I know that a lot of you guys, if you guys have any advice, that's why I gave out the contact number at the beginning of the show. Because if you guys have any advice, I'm completely open to it. But this little bitch, she will sleep all day, but at night, I mean, it sounds like a cat stampede running through this place. Because she sleeps all day and is up all night. But the thing is I gotta get her nothing but on the dry food, because this cat has the worst explosive diarrhea. And also at the same time, because she's not going outside now, I'm having to clean the litter box more. And the thing is, I didn't realize how much that I hate cleaning a litter box. It is the worst. I've actually kind of created a little box now and put a towel and everything there, because she gets the cat litter all over the place, and the explosive diarrhea. I mean, it looks like the surface of Mars or the moon, as bad as it's messed up. And I just hate cleaning that cat litter. And trust me, like I said, I wanted to keep her in for the first 2 weeks just so she knows, hey, this is home. Then I'm just letting the little bitch out. I'm letting her out to roam free. She seems like a smart cat, smart enough to stay away from US 1. She really didn't roam that much at the hobo fish camp. So I think it'll be good. I think that she will be, but you know what? It's all about survival of the fittest. So from talking about a cat, I'm going to talk about a pig heart. This guy, I don't even know exactly where it is. And I mean, it's a good thing. It is a good thing, because I know that if I was on a donor waiting list, waiting for a heart, like this guy or any other organ. But and I'm not even a religious person, so I don't even know why I'm saying this, but are we playing God a little too much? Because when you start putting animal organs inside of human beings, I mean, we're basically suffering through a pandemic right now because of a zoonotical disease. And if you don't know what a zoonotical disease is, that's a disease that skips from an animal species. Well, we are animals. But it skips from one species to another, which in our case is humans. So what's going to happen when we start walking around? We got a bunch of people walking around with pig hearts, pig kidneys, pig livers, pig lungs. I don't even know if I don't even know if a pig's lung would be compatible to humans. But are we kind of like digging our own graves? Because if we're putting other animal parts in human bodies, are we going to start like catching all these other horrible diseases that animals and stuff have? Because it just seems like every time us as human species like start playing God, like I said, not a religious person, that it comes back to bite us in the ass.
This morning, a man in Maryland is living his 4th day with a pig heart beating in his chest after a groundbreaking surgery.
You good?
Surgeons at the University of Maryland transplanted the pig heart into 57-year-old David Bennett in a last-ditch effort to save his life.
As soon as I heard this story, the first thing that I thought about was, all right, so say that we kind of nailed this procedure. We're able to perfect it. It works probably 90% of the time. Hell, even 75% of the time. If you're on death's door and they're like, look, you're going to die if we don't get you a new heart. And you knew that it was about 75, hell, even 50%. Because if you're going to die no matter what, if you don't get a new heart, wouldn't you at least try it? Wouldn't you? Not a lot of things that Trump did that I agreed with, but I will say one of the things that I liked about some of the policies and stuff that he put in place was making experimental drugs, medication that is not FDA approved, and you're going to die if something doesn't happen. That you could sign a piece of paper and say, you know what, I'll take the chance. I'll roll the dice and take this treatment, even though it's not approved. But the first thing, like I said, that I thought about was, wouldn't the Muslim religion and the Judaism, Jewish religious people, would they be able to get this surgery? If I was a practicing Muslim or I was a Jewish person, you bet your ass, like, I would get that done. I would at least roll the dice. I think that if you don't try, isn't that kind of like suicide? If you don't try to get a pig heart in you, even though the Muslim and Jewish communities, they for the most part, they don't eat pork. And I think the Muslims even take it a step further, that even touching a pig or getting pig blood on you is a big no-no. Like, you can't go to heaven. You can't get your 72 virgins and all that good stuff if you had a pig heart in you. I got to do a little bit of more research on that, because that was the first thing that I thought about. Would you, if you're a practicing Jew or a Muslim, would you get a pig heart in you? I bet your ass I would do it. I don't think many of the people that I just mentioned wouldn't do it. But I'm also not a religious person. You know, to religion is a very, very important thing to a lot of people. But I'm just not buying that whole religious mumbo-jumbo BS.
He's awake. He is recovering and speaking to his caregivers. And we hope that the recovery that he is having now will continue.
During the 9-hour operation, doctors replaced Bennett's heart with one from a 240-pound pig.
I know a lot of people are like, oh, man, that's a big... 240 pounds is not that big of a pig in the grand scheme of things. There's way bigger pigs than that. And are they getting this heart from like a potbelly pig or one of those teacup pigs? Because I would almost guarantee you that a fully grown pig's heart would actually be pretty big. And I know that they genetically engineered this one, so maybe they're farming these pigs. And that's also another thing. We're getting into genetics. Who knows what type of other issues and problems we're creating for ourselves down the road. But, once again, if I was in this guy's shoes, you bet your ass I'd be like, yes, stick a pig heart in me. Hell, stick any animal's heart in me as long as I get to live and breathe another day.
Which was genetically modified for this purpose. According to his family, Bennett is aware there's no guarantee the experiment will work, but he agreed to the procedure because he's ineligible for a human heart transplant.
See, they don't get into the reason. I mean, I've read a lot of news stories about this. I haven't listened to this audio yet, but they never say why he wasn't eligible for a human heart. And that kind of throws up a little bit of a red flag for me because, you know, people that get lung transplants or have to get a liver transplant. Sorry about the cough. Still fighting my 20th round with COVID here. But, you know, when they say that type of stuff, because there's been a lot of people that have gotten livers, and it was from cirrhosis, from drinking too much. And then they just drink themselves through another liver. And the way that I look at it, and I'm not trying to be callous or insensitive, but if you get cancer from being a smoker, I don't think you should get a lung over like a child or somebody healthy that's younger that didn't smoke. I also don't think you should get a liver. I mean, you got to drink your ass off to drink yourself through a liver, because as long as you stop in enough time, the liver is one of the only organs that regenerates in your body. And it's not like you even need a whole liver. They only got to put a little bit of a liver in you to be able to get it to grow into a full-size liver that would actually help you. So I would love to know why he wasn't eligible for a human being organ.
For him, it provided a level of hope. My dad's only 57 years old, so that was very important to him, and he didn't feel like he was ready to die.
It's not the first time this type of procedure has taken place. In September, doctors at New York University transplanted a genetically modified pig kidney into a patient who was brain dead. They say the pig kidney functioned normally in the patient's body for 54 hours.
It functioned really well and it didn't reject. And that is a really important finding.
I just see us getting a really, really bad pandemic of swine flu. I know that we've dealt with swine flu before, but what's it going to be like now that a lot of humans are going to be walking around with swine organs in their body? And, you know, like I've talked about this before, we raise pigs on the farm. What if your human penis starts turning into a pig penis? And if this is the first time that you're listening to my podcast, if you've never seen a swine's penis, it is like a wine bottle opener or just any type of corkscrew. And it comes out like that.
The new procedures mark a major step in the decades-long quest to use animals as organ donors.
It is a game changer because we'll have these organs available and, can customize basically the heart or the organ for the patient.
Just giving you a heads up, Americans are never, ever going to get behind this, especially when you got a guy that sounds like he's from Germany or Poland, Switzerland, whatever it may be. No, America's really, I ain't trusting that doctor. America, get her done.
Just incredible. More than 100,000 people in the U.S. are currently waiting for an organ transplant. As for David Bennett, doctors call the next few weeks critical.
We've all read about all the things, all the home remedies and stuff that you need to be able to fight COVID, or stuff that will give you better health just in case you get COVID. I mean, I'm even on my own little regimen of vitamins. I take a multivitamin. I take vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. Those are the main ones that I take. I also take a probiotic and all that other stuff. Take a little ibuprofen. I take a little Tylenol every single day. Because they say COVID helps you, causes blood clots and stuff like that. So everybody has their little home remedy. Everybody's come out with all this stuff. And, a lot of people are really, really pissed off at this guy that is talking in the audio that I'm about to play for you. I've seen some of these people are like, oh, we got air conditioner filters that will collect every single speck of COVID in a building. False. UV light. Kill COVID. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. But this next home remedy is very easy for you. Hell, even if you were, like, gay, or hell, even if you're a man, you drink this right from the tap, because this next guy says that the big cure is very simple. Urine.
Possible, probable, we have the antidote, okay? And the antidote is even for those that have been vaccinated. And the research he's already sent me just blew me away, and they're going to tear me apart, but hey, they tear me apart all the time. And I've been practicing this for 20 years, and everybody's always said I'm cray-cray, and I am. But
yeah, that might be a red flag. Because I'm telling you right now, if my general practitioner doctor or a specialist that I'm seeing ever uses the word cray-cray in any part of his vocabulary, I'm out. That's one of the biggest red flags that you could ever think about. If your doctor says cray-cray, just walk out, because I'm sure that this guy got his medical degree from a Caribbean nation or some third world country. Not saying that all doctors from third world countries are bad, but they kind of hand out medical degrees like it's goddamn Pez.
I'm crazy like a fox, okay? And guys, when I tell you this, please, take it with a grain of salt, but go do the research.
So many red flags. I mean, this is definitely a second one. If your doctor says, if he ever, before he gives you his medical diagnosis and says, hey, take what I'm about to tell you with a grain of salt, get up, walk out, just like he said cray-cray right to your face.
Okay? Because this is going to just be like, there's no way. But the antidote, I'm going to kill my credibility. What credibility do I have anyway? So, right. The antidote that we've seen now, and we have tons and tons of research, is urine therapy.
I bet R. Kelly was like, hey, you know how you guys were all like, saying I was some sicko because I peed on a chick, peed on some underage girl? I was just trying to cure her of all her diseases. Yeah, urine is sterile. I used to see Bear Grylls all the time on Man vs. Wild. He would always like, hey, as a last result, you can drink urine. You know what? Now more and more I'm thinking about it. Growing up in the South, they always tell you, if you get stung by jellyfish, have your buddy or pee on your own leg. It'll neutralize the venom that is in a jellyfish's stinger. Pee on it. I've also heard, like, if you got athlete's foot or foot fungus, pee on your foot, or get your chick, or get whatever. Pee. Urine seems. I even heard in some reports that urine will actually help you out with acne. I really don't deal with much acne right now. I do get it every once in a while. But I kind of had it a little bad in middle school, and then I think 9th, 10th. Started clearing up in the 11th. Wasn't completely gone. I got the random pimple and stuff. I never got it really, really bad. Man, I got to tell you, when I see some of these commercials online that show before and after pictures, hell, I even came across this chick that had an account that was dealing with the worst acne. And look, I mean, you look at pimples and you're like, that's a little inconvenient. But some people that have really, really bad acne, and you see some of the pictures, it looks like it hurts. You're like, holy crap. That's got to hurt. That acne that they have, I mean, it's just ground in there. Looks like the surface of the moon. Looks like some roads that you would see graded over, paved over. Got tons of potholes in it. That's exactly. You're like, yeah, that hurts. That acne looks like it hurts. But I've even heard urine. They said, have somebody pee on your face. It'll cure that acne. So I don't know why am I even doubting this guy? I don't know. And let's just say that this guy is correct and urine does cure COVID. It doesn't. But say if it did, would you be willing to drink? And also, two-part question. Would you be willing to drink urine? And if you did drink urine, would you rather it be yours? Or a female that you know? Or even another dude, maybe your best friend. I mean, I got some really close friends. And if they told me that my urine wouldn't work on my own body, they were like, hey, you got to get somebody else to, give you urine to be able to cure your COVID. I'd be like, I would call Colton. And I'd be like, Colton, look, I got COVID. They say it's really, really bad. I got the flu rona. Can I get some of your urine? I would trust Colton. I would definitely drink his urine if it meant life or death.
Okay, and I know to a lot of you, this sounds crazy, but guys, God's given us everything we need. Okay.
I mean, this is like the third or fourth red flag warning sign word that he's used. I mean, he just brought up God. Yeah, I'm not down for it. I mean, if you bring in God, okay, I mean, if God is in control of everything, like it says in the Bible, then he created COVID, right? So, I mean, God created us. God created urine. So, yeah, I mean, why would God kind of counteract himself? And if God is so perfect, like everybody thinks he is, a God would never contradict himself.
And I'm going to give you, again, I test and prove all things, okay? This has been around for centuries. We've got research after research, documented, peer-reviewed, published papers on urine. We do. We have this.
I feel like this guy should be holding a rattlesnake because, he does sound like a Baptist priest or preacher that is holding a snake, preaching the gospel, and telling you that God gave us urine, and urine comes from you, and if it comes from you, it's a part of God. And God does not want to see you suffer. So God says that you need to drink urine.
Okay, but they have been doing for the last 9 months now, and what he has right now is all anecdotal because, again, to put together a randomized double-blind placebo study with this is kind of tough. But
I mean, this guy is wanting to fleece these people, and the reason he used words like grain of salt, it's tough to get through, all the FDA approvals. I'm just telling you all this because guess what? Just in case this urine makes you sick, maybe this urine's got other types of diseases from other people, I'm covering my own ass. Because I don't want to get sued just because I'm telling you to drink pee.
I'm going to give you some stuff. You got to know. The chlorine oxide was rough enough, but now drink urine.
Just like the doctor in the previous piece of audio I played for you, the one that told you to drink urine to cure COVID, take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, because I'm never going to be a parent. 42 years old. I have no prospects of being married. I know you don't have to be married to, like, get somebody impregnated, but I'm pretty careful. I don't want to knock up a chick or anything like that. That is just a bad person. Just somebody that can't even take care of themselves, and they're going to raise a child? No. I'm not down for something like that. But, so that's why I say I don't think I'm ever going to have kids. But take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. Like I said, this is an absolutely horrible story that I'm about to get into. But I was thinking about this. Would you be able to kill your own kid? And I'm not saying cold-blooded murder. I'm saying, what if your kid was trying to threaten your wife, his mother or her mother, or any of their siblings? Like, would you have the balls or the guts to mow down your kid with a gun, or just kill him by any means necessary to protect your loved ones? God, I hate this COVID.
This is where investigators say a 15-year-old boy shot and killed his own mother and brother. I just spoke with his father on the phone. He's actually serving in the United States Army. He's a real estate agent and pastor, and says his own son shot him twice.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I can understand how your kid could get the drop on you, because you would never, ever think in a million years that your kid would want to try to kill you. But then I think about it in a different way. Wouldn't you know, like, you would see the warning signs and red flags that would be like, yeah, my kid might actually try to kill me. Or any of the family members in the immediate family. And, like, it's two questions. And I would definitely like to hear from you. You can email me, tuddle@gmail.com, or leave me a voicemail, 407-270-3044. I would definitely like to hear from you, because, like, would you be able to take your kid out if he was threatening more family members? Like, your kids, your wife, your spouse, whatever it may be. And have you ever had a kid that was so bad that you were like, all right, I need to lock me and my wife's bedroom door every night when we go to sleep, because there's a chance that my devil child would actually try to kill me, like the Menendez twins. They killed their family over money. But then some kids would just be like, I hate my parents because they took my, I know this is going to date me, Game Boy away, or my iPhone, or my PS5, or Xbox. I'm going to kill them. They took away my spirit. Because I really do think in this day and age, there are some parents that actually think that their kids might actually kill them.
He just got out of surgery. As you can imagine, he's in a lot of pain right now, but wanted to tell me what happened.
The TV was on. I just heard these pop sounds. I thought it was a TV, and I looked to my right, and I noticed that my son was shooting my wife across the room.
All right. I mean, I got to bring up all types of questions. I mean, that is what a good broadcaster does, and the news does not bring any of these up. In these early reports of stories, they just throw it out there. Oh, the kid's just evil. What if these parents were abusing this kid? What if and I'm not saying this is the case, what if one of the parents was sexually abusing the kid as well, too? Maybe one of the siblings was abusing him, because I really do think siblings can abuse other siblings. What if this kid was just had enough and just snapped? It was like he was trying to take as many people with him as he could.
And then he shot my 8-year-old. And then I realized what was happening. I jumped up to confront him, and he turned the gun and shot me twice. And I seen that the gun went empty, and he threw it down. I chased him to the front door, and I grabbed him, but I couldn't grab my right hand because it was broken.
Oh, I'm sorry. If I had a kid, I would choke that kid out. I would definitely make him tap out, even a 15-year-old. Now, there are some 15-year-olds out there, because I watch a lot of college football. By the way, it pains me to say this as a Gator fan. Yeah, you got one, Georgia. You got one. Now, one of my favorite Twitter accounts of all time. How many days has it been since the University of Georgia has won a national championship? Yeah. I mean, and that Twitter account had a lot of followers. What is he going to do now? Well, I haven't even looked at it yet, and I probably need to, because I would like to see what they had to say. But back to what I was saying is, like, for the most part, if it's not like some freak of nature, like 5-star player in college football, for the most part, yeah, I could beat any 15-year-old if I had to.
Mr. Oxley says when his son ran out the door, he dialed 911 and tried to render aid to his wife, 44-year-old Talidia Oxley, and son, 8-year-old Ozza Oxley, but they didn't make it. Here's surveillance video from a neighbor. This is when Prince George's County Police found the 15-year-old suspect in the neighborhood last night after the deadly shooting that happened just before 6 in the evening on Windy Street in Clinton, Maryland. Mr. Oxley's 2-year-old was asleep on the floor during the violence, and 19-year-old son was upstairs in his room.
Damn. I mean, in the eyes of the law, adult, the 19-year-old, where were you at, buddy? They definitely need to look at that 19-year-old kid. I bet he got paid off, or the 15-year-old that shot up the family. Probably, God, this is killing me with this cough. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm sure that the 15-year-old had something on the 19-year-old, or he just was like, yeah, I'm gonna be upstairs. Do not come upstairs. Do not bother me. And I won't come down and bother you.
Both of them are alive. He says his son, who is the suspect, is named Israel Oxley and is a student at Frederick Douglass High School. Police say he is charged with first and second degree murder, first and second degree attempted murder, and other related charges. Neighbors say it just shows.
A lot of people are like, why do they go into all these other charges and stuff? They go into them because they're just covering their own asses. Like playing blackjack. You split it. Like, try to cover your ass. Kind of hedge your bets. But, I mean, if you're going for first degree murder, why do you need to go for second degree murder? Because first degree murder is going to put him away. It's going to put him away for a very long time.
You never know what's going on behind closed doors. His father thinks that made him upset, and he was also hanging out with the wrong crowd.
These drugs that these kids are getting on is onto their state of mind, their social media. They hanging out with their friends, and if there's an issue, get it addressed right away. I mean, we tried to get it addressed right away. We just couldn't seem to get the right help.
I mean, this is just a sad story all around. But, I mean, isn't it a sad, like, commentary on where we are in this country? I know that kids have been killing their parents or family, siblings, but it almost seems like these kids, I know I'm sounding like that old person that I always vowed that I would kick my own ass if I ever sounded like. But, I mean, the kids today, what are they doing? Why are they acting like this? That's my attempt at an old man's voice. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I apologize about the voice problems. I know that it sounds unprofessional as hell, but kind of like that quarterback. I'm like Ben Roethlisberger. I'm not ready to retire yet because you don't need to be athletic to do radio. Come on, look at some of the people that work in radio. But it's going to get better. I'm doing my best. Anyways, hope you enjoyed today's show. Hope you guys stay safe, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
And that's the show for today. Thanks for listening to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Hey, don't be a dickhead. Do us a favor. Like, share, and subscribe to the show. Also, check out the Tuddle category at 315live.com. The Tuddle Daily Podcast is brought to you by Starfire Transport, StitchYouUp.com, and PocketPairClub.com. Special thanks to show producer Vulture and co-host Sirach. Show voiceover service is brought to you by JCVoiceover.com and The Little Cheese Show. Download and subscribe to The Little Cheese Show everywhere podcasts are found. If you want to help support the show, go to paypal.me/TuddleOnTheRadio. You have something you want to say? Tuddle@gmail.com or leave a voicemail at 407-270-3044. To follow all Tuddle social media, go to Tuddle.net. That's Tuddle with 2Ds.net. Thanks again for all your support, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
I get ignorant in normal situations.
What you mean?
What the fuck you mean?
What are you talking about?
Nigga, what the fuck is you talking about?
Oh, shit!